Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another episode of the Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. I've noticed that a lot of eating establishments, whether that be fast food or restaurants, here we go, this guy's talking about food again. Yeah, I like food, okay? Whatever. I've noticed that a lot of these establishments are all hopping on a trend recently. Restaurants that don't even normally, present this as like their specialty item. They're becoming like copycats. They're going for what is trendy, what people want to eat, because somebody had success or somebody had a good idea or somebody you started something that caught on popularity wise, and now everybody seems that they could do it or is trying to do it, trying and failing, trying and succeeding, whatever that may be. Years ago, back in 2020, it was the craze of the chicken sandwich. Now, the chicken sandwich wars, if you remember back then, were very popular in 2020. Like I had said, it was a recent boom of the fast food industry. Mainly fast food restaurants were promoting their chicken sandwiches. I think it might have begun in like 2019, but really took off in 2020. The usual suspects, every fast food chain has a chicken sandwich. Every restaurant has a chicken sandwich that you could buy and eat. I'm a big fan of chicken sandwiches, actually. I actually prefer, I usually get like a chicken sandwich like almost anywhere I go. I kind of prefer it to like a burger from other places. I don't know what it is. It's just like, to me, like that's just like what I seek and what I enjoy the most. So I tend to go for that over a burger. I'm not saying like I won't eat a burger like at a place that is known for having good burgers. Like In-N-Out, obviously there's no chicken sandwich option there, so I'm getting a chicken sandwich. Or I'm getting a burger. Shake Shack, they have a chicken sandwich, but I love their burgers so much, so I'm not gonna, go to the chicken sandwich side at that place. Five Guys does not have a chicken sandwich. I don't go to Five Guys to get a chicken sandwich. I go there to get a burger, right? But sometimes other places, in my case, Jack in the Box, Wendy's, if I'm ever there, I think their chicken sandwich is rightfully, earned and established at that restaurant that you could make an argument that they could be better than the actual burgers at that burger place. I'm not even kidding. The spicy chicken sandwich, in my opinion, at Jack in the Box, Wendy's, is delicious. Maybe sometimes even superior to any of their burgers there. Sometimes, I'm not going to say all the time, but definitely sometimes, that always, sometimes you bite into and you're like, you know what? This is better. This is actually better tasting, better for me. I'm digging it, But that was back then, It was all, and, the usual suspects like Chick-fil-A were like the, the heavy, the number one, the number one spot of chicken sandwich, at least in the fast food, type of playing field. It was Chick-fil-A. Obviously, all these other places had chicken sandwiches that were established. Popeyes gets a chicken sandwich, and everybody's like, oh, there's a war between Chick-fil-A and Popeyes. I remember back then, I tried their chicken sandwich, and it was actually really good. I ended up being a pretty big fan of that chicken sandwich, not going to lie. And then I remember McDonald's tried to make one. Theirs sucked. Everybody tried to make like a spin-off, like simple home-styled chicken sandwich that Chick-fil-A makes, like with just bun, chicken, maybe a mayonnaise and some pickles, right? And the chicken, obviously. But everybody tried to make one like that, and not everybody succeeded. I think it was just like maybe Popeyes that actually ended up, competing with Chick-fil-A. Ultimately, I think losing that war, but still like made a chicken sandwich that could go toe to toe with the Chick-fil-A sandwich, in my opinion. Flash forward to like late 2024 until now in 2025, it has been like the year of the chicken tender. Now, pretty much everywhere, fast food restaurants are all promoting like new chicken tenders, chicken strips, what have you. That's like now the craze of like all these places now is who has the better chicken tenders. And obviously, the one that we can all kind of point to as like the place that is like made by chicken tenders, will die by chicken tenders is Raising Cane's. That's like the one place that where you can like look at and be like, yeah, that place is like built on the chicken tender. That is the place that has succeeded for the majority of their career since they've been alive because of their chicken tender. Now, I've had Raising Cane's a few times, maybe actually just one time, I'll be honest. I was very critical of Raising Cane's because I am a food guy. I mean, I don't cook a whole lot of food, but I know that good food, when I taste it, I know that I can decipher good food from bad food, right? And one of the things that I like to, how I grade food, like if this place is known for something, like in this case, Raising Cane's is known for the chicken tenders. When I had it for the first time, I tried the chicken by itself. And I was going to see, like, does this chicken tender stand alone? Can it stand alone without this Raising Cane sauce that everybody loves? Because with the Raising Cane sauce, it's pretty good. A lot of it is because the sauce is really good. That combination with the chicken tender and the sauce is a good play. It tastes really good. I can't lie. And I have to report also that Raising Cane's chicken tender by itself is not good. It's actually bad. There is like no flavor in this chicken tender whatsoever. No seasoning. It's just a bland piece of chicken tender. And when I had it, it had a little bit of wait time from it. It wasn't like I got it fresh out of Raising Cane's and had it. There was a car ride. So about 30 minutes. So when I got to eat it, reality kind of set in, and the breading wasn't as crispy. It wasn't as hot, and the tender itself falls short when it stands alone, I'll be honest. So Raising Cane's is like, I mean, are you just built on your sauce then? Are you really like the place for chicken tenders or just really good sauce? I mean, I hate to say it to you guys, but it might just be the sauce. That might be the driving force of Raising Cane's is their sauce. And I think it's well known. I've seen a lot of people on social media that talk about Raising Cane's, that'll have Raising Cane's, that eat Raising Cane's, because all my algorithm is just food, right? So they say, yeah, the chicken tender is bad, but the sauce makes it. I mean, if you're Raising Cane's, I mean, you don't got to do anything to change the recipe of the chicken tender because everybody buys it anyway. I mean, sure, you get laughed at, you get mocked at because you have a bad tasting standalone chicken tender, but no one gives a damn. I'm pretty sure Raising Cane's' sales are still pretty damn good. They're not going to waste some money to change their recipe to make it better so that their tenders by themselves taste better because no one cares. It's just they're already so conditioned to use the Raising Cane sauce with the tender. So like there's no real reason for them to improve their recipe whatsoever. As much as we could bitch and moan about it, it isn't going to happen, which is smart on them. Smart on them because they know that they don't got to work extra, lift a finger more, do a little bit more on their recipe because they don't need to. Smart on them because they have the public hooked on Raising Cane's. Now, it might not be as popular as it once was, but I don't see people complaining at all enough to make Raising Cane's make a drastic change to their chicken tender recipe. Or what do they call it? Chicken fingers? I don't even know. But they're like the head honcho of the chicken tender fight. Recently, Wingstop has gone into the chicken tender game. Now, they've had chicken tenders for a while, but recently, like maybe about 5 months ago, maybe even less than that, they came out with a new recipe, a new type of chicken finger, or chicken tender, crispier chicken tenders, right? So I never tried them. I don't normally go to a wing place and get chicken tenders because this is what I mean. Like, you're a wing place. You make wings. You should perfect the wings before you branch out. Now, Wingstop wings are pretty good, but they're not like that great. I mean, in my opinion, I think that Buffalo Wild Wings has better tasting and better cooked wings, better prepared wings than Wingstop. I guess you'd be the one to judge. All the wing guys out there, they could put those two head to head and tell me which one's better. But I do think that B-Dubs is better than Wingstop in that department. As in terms of like the I guess the accessibility, you can just like order wings and pick them up and that's it. They're kind of known for that, right? It's called Wingstop for a reason. So I get it. Like the appeal of a quick wing, grab some wings and go, is going to do numbers for your business for sure. But they got to focus more on the wings and not the chicken tenders. Now, I've heard that their chicken tenders are extremely, extremely good, which, has always kind of been in the back of my mind, every day. Like, should I go and get some Wingstop chicken tenders? Should I make should I take that gamble on something I've never had before and see if it's any good? Because if for all it could be bad that day, maybe it's not as good as it could be, and I just get very unlucky, or I am lucky and I get like an incredible chicken tender experience that is like worth like writing a book on, something like that. I don't know, but it's not enough for me to do that. So they have, I guess you could say, succeeded in making chicken tenders. I mean, it's all over social media. People seem to have a very positive reaction to Wingstop's chicken tenders. McDonald's as well has decided to make new McCrispy chicken tenders, which I hear are also pretty good. I'm not a McDonald's eater. I haven't had McDonald's in about, it's been a long time. Maybe about like 5 months. I mean, it's been a long, long time. I mean, not like super long, but like last time I had it, I think it was, I think I got 2 double cheeseburgers and a soda, and it was just not that great. I mean, it didn't taste as good as I remembered it to be, so I just haven't gone back. But I heard that the McDonald's chicken tenders are also pretty good, and as a guy that loves food, I also get curious, and I'm also like, well, what if I went there and tried them out? What if I just decided to, take a gamble and see if they're any good? Can't do it. I don't think that if the double cheeseburger there is not up to my expectations, then the chicken tenders cannot be that good. They just can't be. McDonald's, you need to focus more on your burgers, man. You need to focus more on making your burgers a lot better, in my opinion. This whole chicken tender craze right now is just it's just annoying now. Like, I'm sick and tired of people just getting chicken tenders. Why are they doing this? Why would they make this? Why would they push this? Well, I think there's multiple reasons for that. Chicken is an inexpensive meat. It's not like steak or beef. It's not a super expensive piece of meat to buy and cook and all that. It really isn't. It's also, very lean, not a lot of fat, a lot of protein though. So maybe these restaurants are kind of keying in on, people today being super hyper fixated on protein and essentially not that many carbs, eliminating carbs as much as possible and only going for protein. That, hey, well, 5 years ago we had the chicken sandwich, which was a big seller for us. Nowadays, people are not really eating a whole lot of carbohydrates. What has carbohydrates? The bun. How about we eliminate the bun and just kind of sell like that? It's like another wave of like the chicken filet, breast filet that everybody wants and everybody likes in the sandwich form. But now people are kind of like not really eating bread all that much. So what's our best case? We'll eliminate the bread and do the same thing, but in tender form. I guess I would assume that that's what people and these executives of these companies are going for, because that's what it seems like to me, which I guess is good in a way. It is a healthier option. It's not like it's some super like bad thing that you could eat. Chicken tenders are not like super bad for you. I mean, the breading could be bad, right? But I mean, besides that, it's not like it's, totally going to be like something that has a lot of sugar in it. One of the things that I think is like the worst part about fast food bread in general is just like it has a lot of sugar. It really does. I don't know if you can tell, but I remember like I think a few years ago, like there was like a lawsuit in, I think somewhere in Ireland, about Subway and how they didn't want to call Subway's bread because it had way too much sugar in it to be called bread. And I haven't been to Subway in like 5 years, so I have no idea what that tastes like. But I do know for a fact that the buns at McDonald's have a ton of sugar in them. I mean, bread alone today has tons of sugar, So it's definitely something that you think about and you're like, these guys are smart in a way. Like, yeah, these ideas aren't like groundbreaking, but they're at least, tuning into like what is popular in today's, what people like to eat. What's a trendy food right now, The trendiest food right now has got to be like the chicken tender. That and like mozzarella sticks. For some reason, people just are making tons of money off of mozzarella sticks as well. I know that Chili's has like this, these giant, like almost like chicken tender size mozzarella sticks, or like cheesy mozzarella like things. I don't know what they're called, but like they're huge. It's just like breading and mozzarella cheese in there, and that's it. And people just like eat them and try them out and do cheese pulls and shit like that, and then that's just what's selling right now. I don't know why. Maybe it's because of the visual of the cheese pull when someone bites into it. It's like, oh, look at how far I can stretch it. It's entertainment. Yeah, it really is. I mean, mozzarella stick has to be like the food that is like the most entertaining for people to watch. Not for me, but I can see why people will find that entertaining. I mean, it's kind of cringe if you think about it, watching somebody eat a mozzarella stick just so they can do a cheese pull is honestly like one of the worst things that I've ever said in my life that people can find entertaining. But, there's been much worse out there, I think. That's kind of like where we're at, though. Food trends, and not in a way of like, people making it, just like people ordering it, people buying it, and just like consuming it. It's not even like something, like a trend like, oh, I'm going to cook this. This is something that people are making and then, trying it out with their families. No, it's just like, I'm going to eat this because it's trendy. Like, why is it trendy? Because these heathens, these pagan companies have hacked our brains. They know exactly what we want to eat because they're in tune to what we as consumers are interested in. It's really scary when you think about it. It's like something that it's like, this is like the work of an evil genius when you think about it. Like, this is actually insane. And speaking of evil geniuses, this is the week of the Switch 2 release. And, I mean, I'll be honest with you, I sort of want a Switch 2, but seeing that price of that Switch 2 and seeing how small it is and how like, it doesn't seem to be worth that much money, to me at least, I have never wanted to, spend that much money in my entire life. Like, when the Xbox One, Series X was released, I'm like, I want to buy that. It was $500 back then. It's much more now. But, isn't that weird to say? But I wanted to buy that back in the day. The Switch 2 was released, and I'm like, I don't want to buy that at all. I really don't. There's not a cell in me that is pro Switch 2 day one purchase. Not a single cell. And I've asked them all. Like, I don't want to buy that at all. It just doesn't seem to be worth it to me whatsoever. Isn't that sad? That's very sad. You know, I'm a Nintendo guy. I was raised on Nintendo. My first console that I ever played was a Nintendo 64. And let me tell you this. That was a magical system. That was an incredible console when that came out. Because it had the games. It had Super Mario 64. I think my favorite game of all time. Super Smash Brothers. Mario Kart 64. Donkey Kong 64. GoldenEye was super popular on that. A bunch of other games that I don't even remember playing all that much, but I know, like, for the entire gaming community out there, the entire gaming zeitgeist, like, there was Legend of Zelda, there was Star Fox, there was the Captain Falcon game where he's racing a car. There was the sports games. There was Turok. You know, that was a console that shaped an entire generation and really exposed people back then to what a video game could truly be. Because back then, before that, we had the Nintendo Entertainment System, then the Super Nintendo Entertainment System, and then the Nintendo 64. And those were revolutionary as well, the NES and the SNES. But when the Nintendo 64 came out, man, that revolutionized what games looked like. Because I didn't play the NES or the SNES prior, right? The N64 was my first console. When I had discovered like what the Nintendo 64 was and was caught up to it, you know, I had cousins as well that were older than me, and I had played the previous consoles. And just by going back in time, not really, but playing those old consoles again, and then going to the N64, you're like, damn, this just was leaps and bounds better than the previous consoles. No match. No, not even, no competition whatsoever. The N64 was better in every way, and improved games, you know, to you. I mean, like, just playing Mario, right? Super Mario Brothers, the first game, right, on the NES, and then Super Mario World on the SNES, and then going to Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64. Like, it was just revolutionary. 3D Mario, just like running around, you know, in the 3D world, 3D game. Like, it was unbelievable. You couldn't believe it. It was revolutionary, you know? So I've been a Nintendo fan forever, right? Since the N64, when I first was exposed to video games. So I love Nintendo. But I am older now. I'm 31 years old. I'm looking at what they do, how they release their games, how they essentially corner you into buying their system to play their games, which is not an uncommon practice. I mean, back in the day when you wanted to play Halo, you had to buy an Xbox. If you wanted to play God of War, you had to buy a PlayStation. It's not an uncommon practice at all. But how they manage their games, the lifespan of their games, how their games, you know, what's the content in their games? Is it like worth the money that you pay? Is it, you know, going to sustain your entertainment? Is it work at launch? How's the console? Does it have the latest specs? Does it run games at 60 FPS? Is it HD? Does it have an HDMI cable? Like, in that department, you can kind of say Nintendo is behind the Xbox, the PlayStation, and of course PC as well. So when I see that the Switch 2 is going to be priced at $449 for the console itself, I'm thinking to myself, like, there's no way people should be buying this. This isn't worth it. I mean, this is something that you can clearly see is not worth that much money. at all. Like, I'm kind of a cheapskate, I'll be honest. I don't really spend a whole lot of money on really much anything that I don't need. So, like, when I see the price for the Switch 2, and I see that, and I know for a fact that Nintendo knows damn well that a lot of people are going to buy this regardless, and that they are about to make a killing on Thursday, today, I am kind of sad. Because Nintendo is like the family gaming company when you think about it. All their games are family oriented. All their games are for kids, which is what they're supposed to be for, right? Video games are meant for children. We as adults just are still clinging on because of the entertainment that they provide us, right? But they are the family brand when it comes to video games, and they know that. And they don't care if their console is overpriced. They know that people are going to buy it in numbers, in masses. I mean, because of the system, the name brand itself, the games that are going to be on that console. And by the way, the games that are going to be on that console can only be played on that console moving forward. You cannot play Nintendo Switch 1 games on that console, which is insane, but, that's their move. And they are just evil geniuses in that way because they're so smart that they know that they're just going to make a killing whatever they put out. It doesn't have to have the greatest specs. It doesn't have to look as good as the Xbox Series X or the PlayStation 5. They know that people are going to buy it at a well overpriced price and make a killing. It's as simple as that. And I'm just looking at myself like, yeah, this is the beauty of capitalism. It's beautiful. I love capitalism. But it's like, damn, at the same time, I'm like, that ain't worth it, man. That is just not worth it in my opinion. So I don't know if I'm going to get a Switch 2. At least this year. Probably not. I didn't pre-order. I don't have anything. Yeah, I wasn't first in line for anything. I don't think that it's going to be all that available. It should be. I don't know why it wouldn't, but, people are crazy for these game systems. I mean, like, Nintendo has, like, outsold Xbox and Sony for, like, the past, like, numerous years that they've released a console. So they really have, like, no worries about, like, being sold, being outsold by another company. And also this year, like, there's no other competition. There's no other PlayStation that's been announced. There's no Xbox that's been announced. So, like, this is just the year of Nintendo. They have no other competition out there whatsoever. So expect Nintendo's stock to go skyrocket on Thursday because they are about to make a killing this year, and the rest of this entire year is just going to be the year of Nintendo, whether they deserve it or not. I guess when we can truly make that decision of whether this is the console's worth it or not, is to see how games are performing across the board, across everybody's system. If there's issues day one, there's glitches, malfunctions, does the console already need repairs? Is it noisy? Does it crash a lot? What's the issue, right? If there is any issues at that. We will see on today if any of that's even true. If there's going to be, like, hiccups at launch, whatever it may be, like, we're going to see that all today. And we're going to see, like, if this system is actually worth a damn. Or, and even so, like, I don't think that there's anything that could be a problem out there that's going to prevent people from buying this Nintendo Switch 2. I really don't think so. I mean, there was problems with the Xbox 360 back in 2006 or 2005, and people still bought that thing. People were buying it, Red Ring of Death or Known. Like, they were buying that like they didn't care. So, like, and I remember the Switch 1 didn't have the best launch either. It had, like, some graphical issues, some system crashes, malfunctions as well, and people still bought the shit out of that. So, like, I don't really see anything that could derail the Nintendo Switch 2 train, honestly. I for sure thought that the price of it would make people question that decision, or at least make a more cautious purchase, but I don't think that's going to happen. The love for Nintendo was so strong that even its dumb decisions, its company's stupid decisions to make that shit $449.99 at launch is not going to hurt it at all. And talk about also like the price of the games too being $80, for that little cartridge of a game. Like, is that really worth it? I don't think so. I mean, if you really think about like the price of the games, right? $80 for Mario Kart World at launch. That's a lot of money for a game. That's a lot of money. Now, whether the game is worth it or not, I mean, that's up to you, because they're not selling you the game based on what it's made of. It's based on the entertainment value, is what it's priced at. That's like the pricing of it, right? Mario Kart World is going to be a popular game at launch and a popular game at the end of the Switch 2's life. It will be like the top 5 game that the console has at that time. At launch day and on its death, it will be like the top 5 selling game of this console. It will be. So I'm assuming that the $80 is going to be worth like a good 6 years of entertainment. Yeah, sure, yeah. I mean, obviously that makes financial sense, right? But if the game isn't good, if the game is bad, it's not going to feel like a smart purchase for $80. But Nintendo is also, like I said, an evil genius. So how are they going to incentivize you to buy the game? Maybe you're not a Mario Kart guy. Maybe you don't care about Mario Kart, right? What if Mario Kart is just not your thing? You like Nintendo, you like Zelda, Star Fox, solo Mario games, but you're not a Mario Kart fan. Well, Nintendo, like I said, are evil geniuses. So you could buy the Nintendo Switch 2 bundle with Mario Kart World for $500, essentially getting the game for $30 off. So, I mean, there you go. You don't got to be a fan of Mario Kart to get your Nintendo Switch, but nonetheless, you'll have Mario Kart for $30 off, essentially. It's crazy how Nintendo has just hacked us. They have us by the palm of their hand. They're relentless. They are. You still can't really backwards compatibly play any of the old games without a backwards compatibility subscription on the Nintendo Switch store, which is evil in itself. Evil, evil, evil. But, to each is their own. That's Nintendo's business model. They can do that if they please. That's capitalism, baby. I mean, whether we like it or not, that is completely fair for them to do. So I will not be getting the Switch 2 at launch. I might get it in the future. I don't see them ever having a price reduction on the Switch. Maybe it'll go on sale for like $400 flat. Possibly. That could be a thing in the future. I don't know. But at the moment, I will not be at all purchasing a Switch 2 at launch day today. Don't see myself doing it. I can't. I don't think that it's financially worth it. I could 100% afford it for sure. But am I going to be okay with that hunk of cash on my credit card? No, I don't think so. I don't think it would feel that good to me. I think I'd be like, oh, I didn't need to buy that. I still have a Switch, and I'm still playing Super Mario Wonder on it. I'm not done with the Switch yet, even though Nintendo wants you to be done with the Switch. And by God, they want you to be done with it. I think like within a year or two after the Switch 2's launched, they'll like potentially like kill like the Switch, anything like Switch 1 games, Switch 1 Joy-Cons, Switch 1 games, accessories, SD cards. They'll just kill it. Micro SDs will kill it. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it too, but like the Switch 2 is going to have a new SD card. It's going to be an SD card, SD Express card, or Express SD, whatever it's called. It's a brand new memory card, mainly, and that I've only seen it for Switches, for Switch 2s actually. No camera. I've seen that uses it. Nothing else that uses that but Switch 2, I think, which is crazy. It's like almost like they took a note out of Xbox when they announced the Series X, how it wasn't going to really be supporting its, Xbox Series X optimized games on traditional hard drives. You had to buy the expanded game memory cards that go into the back of the console. You know how much those cost? I think 1 terabyte is like $80. 2 is like $160. For 2 terabytes of extra space. The system itself only has 1 terabyte of storage, where you can house your optimized Series X games, so you can get the best experience, playing your games. Right? It's terrible what they've done to just corner the market and to make something that is like unnecessary, a necessity to fully experience your games. And I know that the Switch 2 is, launching with 256 gigabytes of storage, but how big are the game downloads? I remember when, back when you bought a Xbox One, and 64 gigs was a good space. Not an Xbox One, Xbox 360, and then they got better Xboxes as time went on. The Xbox 360S model was a slimmer model that came in with a 500 gigabyte hard drive. At the time, I'm like, I can get so many games on this thing, and I'm gonna have so much more space. And the Xbox One came along, and the Series X, and I just remember seeing like the game downloads just got bigger and bigger and bigger for whatever reason. There's no really explanation for it. They just decided to make them bigger sized. Bigger always doesn't mean better. Now I don't have space to have as many games. Now I have to pick and choose what I can download, what I can afford to have on my hard drive, what I can afford to have at the ready, what I'll need to download in the future if the boys decide to play one game that none of us have, that we can get, but we just don't have the space for. It's hard being a gamer. It's hard to be a gamer and to be an intelligent consumer. A smart consumer and a gamer are not. It's like you can't be both. You got to pick one or the other. And I tend to be more on the side of the intelligent consumer than a gamer. So, but that actually also happens when you get older as well. When you get older, you're like, what game is cool? Or like, that game is not cool, so I'm not even gonna attempt it. So yeah, that's just kind of where I'm at with the Switch 2 gaming in general. They also had announced or shown a tech demo for The Witcher 4 on the new Unreal Engine that's going to be coming out. I don't really know when, but in the future. Now, as you guys know, I'm a huge fan of The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt game. That game is like one of my favorite games ever. Probably like top 6 or 7 games I've ever played in my life, in terms of like the impact, the sheer quality of the game, the story, gameplay, how fun it is. Like top 6 or 7 games for sure. I did not play it when it came out though, so I have no experience of its terrible launch. So I could actually, for me, there's like no bad memories of that game, only good ones. So I have nothing to worry about in that department. Seeing this demo though for The Witcher 4 starring Ciri as our Witcheress, has me very excited for the um, Unreal Engine and what the game is going to look like and how the game is going to expand upon The Witcher 3's expansive world exploration and mechanics and traversability and the immersion of the world that they're going to build and the lighting and the graphics and the sheer look of it looks awesome. I mean, like they demoed like a 12-minute or 10-minute walkthrough of like how the game is going to look, the lighting of it, the NPC interactions. It looked awesome. It looks so cool, so good, so crisp. And I know it's like a very early demo of the game, but like I have to say, from the looks of the demo and how it looked and felt, like I was just so excited to go back to the world of the Witcher and play a game that I can just get lost and immersed in as soon as I open it. It looked incredible. It really did. It looked awesome. I will say that the cinematic that they put out in front of this demo was not good. I'm a big fan of the Witcher cinematics. The Witcher 3 had like 5 before the game came out, I think, and all 5 really conveyed the story and the tone of the game that you will be playing, and how like, you know, it had like small snippets of like the characters and what the characters were about, or the main character, I should say, Geralt of Rivia, what he's about, what his life's about, what the world and the game is trying to portray. And I know it's early before this game even comes out, very, very, very early, but I do have to say that this cinematic alone probably would not sell you on buying this game. It doesn't really show much of like what the game is about. In this case, it's about a Witcher named Ciri. It's really just like a dark cinematic that doesn't really show off any of the graphics either, and until the very end where you see like a vista of like the background of like a big open world. But as far as like, if you're just going to be basing your excitement on this Witcher cinematic, it would not leave you excited. When I saw that for the first time before I actually saw the demo, and I'm like, oh no, this doesn't look good at all. Like, I'm not getting anything of like what the game is about, who this game is about, what I could expect in it, like nothing. Just something I didn't really care about. I'm like, I saw it, I'm like, I mean, I guess that was kind of cool, but like, where's the story? Where's the emotion? Where's the care for this? I'm not seeing that at all in the cinematic whatsoever. And I do think that the cinematic is like the weakest part of this entire demo. They probably didn't even need to put that at the beginning of their showcase at all. So seeing that and then seeing the actual demo itself, if you just see the cinematic, which is like only like 2 minutes and like 8 seconds long, you would probably be disappointed, like I was. And then I got the rest of the facts, and I saw the actual demo itself, and I'm like, you know what? That cinematic sucked, but like this demo is fire, you know? So in terms of like excitement levels, I'm pretty excited for this new Witcher after seeing that full demo. Cinematic, I'll be honest, I was kind of worried. I thought they had lost the plot of what The Witcher was. They didn't really convey much of the character that we're going to be playing as in that cinematic. It was just kind of like just an action thing that didn't really make any sense. It was just kind of like people getting fucked by a monster, getting killed by a monster, and then Ciri's there after a time lapse, and that was it. Like, okay, not really much heart there, or effort, or passion, or sense of story, so didn't really hit with me on that one. But after the demo itself, I'm like, I can forgive you for that shitty cinematic, and this demo is really all what I needed, because it gives you more than just like a visual. It like kind of does actually dive into more of like the character of Ciri, the horse that you'll be riding, the interactions between the characters, between Ciri and the other characters in the world of The Witcher. And I was just being like, okay, this is much better. This is actually something that I would play and I could invest time in. And all the worries of that first cinematic kind of washed away after actually seeing this tech demo itself, the actual demo run. So I'm much more excited now than I was after just seeing that cinematic. I can't lie to you. I was getting a little worried with just that cinematic. Going on to some sports news. The NBA playoffs are set. Pacers, Thunder, Game 1 today. I gotta say I'm actually excited. And I'll tell you why. This is the first year in like the past 15 years where we will be getting a brand new NBA champion. Maybe not 15 years. I don't know. But we will be getting a new NBA champion this year. Not a repeat, right? Not teams we've seen before. A brand new champion. And I'll be honest with you, it might not be as even a matchup as I would have liked, because I think that the Thunder are way too good, way too fast, way too strong, and the Pacers are also very good as well. But I will say, I think that the Thunder are just more of a really pissed off team that are just so determined and so willed right now to win the NBA Finals. I don't even think that a good Pacers team like this one here has any shot at beating the Thunder. They just seem like they're so mad at everybody, rightfully so. No one really took them seriously last year. No one even took them seriously this year. They got a great team. SGA, Chet Holmgren, Lou Dort, these guys are really good, well coached, motivated, effort through the roof. These guys are really good. Pacers too, though. They're good coach and Rick Carlisle. Tyrese Halliburton. They got some good players around him as well. This is going to be an exciting, finals matchup. I'll be honest with you, with two really young teams that have a lot to prove, and could eventually be like a stronghold in the NBA. So seeing this is this is actually going to be a pretty freaking good series. I'm actually excited to watch Game 1 tonight. But I will say, in the aftermath of the Pacers beating the New York Knicks to get to the finals, a couple days ago, it was reported that Tom Thibodeau, the former coach of the New York Knicks, is no longer going to be coaching the New York Knicks. He has been relieved of his duties as head coach, which does not really mean fired from the Knicks. It does mean that he will not be coaching the team. Now, I have a theory. Now, I'm not sure if this is going to change by the time this airs, but he actually might be a front office guy for the New York Knicks in the future, which is, I think, a good thing, because I think that he's very has a very good basketball mind, but maybe not the best person to coach the team. Even though I think that he's a really good coach, I think that he's very smart. Obviously he's a very good basketball mind. For whatever reason, it's just I think the Knicks just are looking for somebody who's going to get a little bit more extra out of this team to make that step. I do think that it was kind of weird for them to fire him, but I think that the Knicks as an organization were like, you know what? We have a really, really, really good, talented team. A young team that, in this past series that we just lost to the Pacers, the coach just was not able to get that team into the extra gear that they needed to win that series, to get to the finals. And since the news is broken, there has been nothing but speculation on X on who could be the next Knicks head coach. And I'll be honest with you, if I'm a Knicks fan, I am excited for whoever comes in to coach this team, because the names that this job is going to draw is quite astounding. all-time coaches. Some all-time, some okay. A few up-and-coming ones that have never even coached in the NBA, but you think about it and you're like, you know what? That could be cool to see. Obviously, the number one candidate to take, I think, if you're a basketball fan, if you know about college basketball and the NBA and just are educated a little bit in basketball, Jay Wright is probably like Knicks fans' number one coaching prospect to coach this team. I mean, if just picture that, right? Jay Wright, the coach of the New York Knicks. That to me is like a hire that, I mean, the Knicks are only dreaming of, right? Like this is a team that I think that it would be awesome if they got Jay Wright. Not because he was the former Villanova coach. He coached Jalen Brunson and Josh Hart. Like this is like almost like a no-brainer to, for Knicks fans. This could be like the one thing, the stars aligned. The Knicks and the Knicks fans would like just absolutely love their lives if they were able to get Jay Wright to coach the New York Knicks. It would make so much sense for this to happen. I would actually love it too. And I'm not a Knicks fan. I don't care about the Knicks. Sure, they're a cool marquee franchise in the NBA, and they're like a franchise that is well established in the NBA. They've had some great years. They've had some really, really bad years. Most recently, some bad years in the 20 teens. But hell, I mean, that would be like their ultimate dream to get Jay Wright to coach that team. I mean, I would love it too. Hell, shoot. I can't see myself hating that move. That would be sick. That would be an all-time coach's hire to get that guy. It would be like assembling the Avengers again. Shoot, that would be fun to see. Dan Hurley is another coaching prospect. Obviously a UConn guy. Jay Wright being a Villanova guy. East Coast guys staying in the East Coast, coaching the marquee NBA team on the East Coast, or one of them. That would be really cool as well. I think that Jay Wright is like the perfect fit, but Dan Hurley, I think, is also a very terrific coach that could unlock a lot and would be so much fun to watch that New York Knicks team under Dan Hurley. I think that would be so cool. So freaking cool to see. Doc Rivers is one. Obviously, he's an East Coast guy. He's been on the East Coast coaching-wise for a very long time. Celtics, 76ers, Milwaukee. Like, he has been one of the Eastern Conference head coaches that is always in that conference all the time. I mean, there was a couple years when he was the Clippers head coach, and he was also on TV a lot too. But he would be a good fit too. I can't imagine the Knicks fans totally loving him just because he used to coach for the Celtics and the 76ers and the Bucks, all Eastern Conference rivals of the Knicks. So that one might be a little bit of a harder pill to swallow for Knicks fans, but it'd be a pretty decent hire as well. Michael Malone is one. Obviously, won the NBA championship with the Nuggets a few years ago. Established coach, really good coach. The firing during the season was very unexpected, kind of shocked the NBA world of what happened. That could be a good hire as well. Mark Jackson, he's kind of been out of the league for a while in terms of coaching. I don't think he commentates on games anymore. He got let go along with Stan Van Gundy, or Jeff Van Gundy, sorry, when they rehauled the ESPN NBA commentating crews. And those are the main ones that are being talked about right now. But I just, as I was talking to myself about it, I want Jay Wright to coach the New York Knicks. I want that to happen. That would be such a cool, that would be an awesome hiring. Like I said, I'm not a Knicks fan, but that would be just amazing. That would be an amazing hiring with the storylines of that. It would just be awesome. Now, of course, Jay Wright's been out of college basketball coaching for a couple years now. And he was a college basketball guy. I don't think he's ever coached in the NBA, so he would have to like look at it and be like, you know what? I know how to coach basketball, college basketball. The NBA is a bit different. People who don't think it's different don't even know. I mean, it's like night and day different. The talent, the effort that's put in, the skill level is just, the speed of it is just way faster and way different from college. So if he can adjust to that, I think he could obviously do that. But like, if he's able to adjust to that and make it so like, make a smooth transition from college to the NBA, that could be really cool to see. Like, I want that to happen now. Like, that would be so freaking cool if Jay Wright became the coach of the New York Knicks. With all the players that he had before at Villanova being on the Knicks, like, the storyline is just there. It kind of has to happen. Like, I kind of just want to make it happen, petition it to happen. And in other NBA news before I go, kind of sad news, but not really that sad. You might, if you watch basketball, the NBA at least, you probably are you're most likely familiar of the show Inside the NBA. The post-game, pre-game show of the NBA games in the regular season and in the playoffs, hosted by Ernie Johnson, Shaquille O'Neal, Kenny Smith, and Charles Barkley. The four guys that have been on my TV for a very long time during the NBA season. Guys that broke down the game, gave the best analysis, the best criticism of NBA teams, NBA players, coaches. I mean, some of the best like live TV you could ever watch is Inside the NBA. They are no longer going to be on TNT, and they've been on TNT for many, many years. They will now be aired on ESPN, but produced by TNT. It's kind of a weird thing, but it will be produced, shot at the TNT studios in Atlanta, but it will be on ESPN. It will be airing on ESPN. It's going to be a little weird, but they seem like they're going to be for it. They won't be able to say on TNT anymore, like, say it, I believe, but they will be still the show that we all know and love, just on a different channel, which honestly is going to be a little weird at first. I don't know if they're going to say like from ESPN inside the NBA. I don't know if that's going to continue. I don't know if that's going to happen. I mean, we'll just have to wait and see. But it is going to be a little weird, it being like aired on ESPN. I gotta say, I was sad watching that because the last game, Game 6 of the Knicks Pacers series, was going to be their final basketball game, NBA basketball game on TNT. And just knowing that and seeing like the final sign off from Ernie Johnson, holding back tears, was sad for him and for me. Like, it was like the end of an era. Even though it's not really ending, it's still kind of an end, at least for TNT. And it was actually like kind of sad. Now that I think about it, it's like that part of my childhood, my young adulthood, was watching those guys on TNT, having to, remember the channel number of TNT back when there was no guide to watch those guys commentate about basketball. It was the best. And they always made it fun. If they knew that the game was bad, they would tell you straight up that this game sucks. And it's like, you're not going to hide that. We're all feeling the same thing. We're watching the same game. We know this is a bad game. It's great to hear these guys not be dummies and not try to hide it. Like, this is a bad game. We all know it's a bad game. So stop playing around saying like, we got quite the matchup here, when that's definitely not it. They would praise players. They would heavily criticize players and teams, as they should. That was like one of the things that I always loved about this show, is that it was super real in terms of criticizing players, criticizing the game itself, where the sport is, where the league is. It was just always the best at that. They never hid away from sharing their opinions. They were never coy about it. They were always real, which is why they were such a breath of fresh air to see like real basketball opinions about players, teams, coaches, what have you. You know, it was the best. So seeing it actually fully come to an end, airing on TNT, is quite sad. You know, I mean, there'll always be a memory, right, on TNT. It will always remember those days. As far as I know, the show isn't changing. It's not going to change at all. There's no creative, different changes that are going to be made to the show. It's going to stay the same show as it should. I mean, that's the show that brought in the views. I can only imagine if they change it or try to make it their own or try to hijack it, it won't do as good. So I think that ESPN will let it, stay the way it is. And we won't really have to worry about it too much, as just for the fact that it being on a different channel. And that should be it. But nonetheless, still sad. I will miss the NBA on TNT. You can be sure of that. All right, that's going to be it for me today, people. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Remember, you can find this podcast on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and YouTube at Intelligent Moron with Alex Silva. New episodes drop every Thursday morning. Make sure to like, subscribe, rate, review, and do all that good stuff. And yes, thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. And I will see you guys next week.